So, hi there, this is your favorite channel. This is Absolute Beginners Coding. So, in this video, we're gonna learn CSS. So, you might have known about CSS already. That's the reason we decided to learn. So, let me tell you one thing. If you're new to this channel, uh, first of all, if you're watching this video on Facebook, make sure to give a like and follow my page on Facebook. And you can also like and follow my page on Facebook as well. And if you're someone who is watching this video on like YouTube, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so it helps me a lot. If you like this video, might be useful, give a like and share your thoughts and comments. If you're watching the video on like Twitch, follow and subscribe. If you're watching this video on like Kick, follow and subscribe as well. So I'm on Instagram as well as on Twitter. You can also follow me there as well. Okay, so now we're going to learn CSS by using Visual Studio Code. So what is Visual Studio Code? Visual Studio Code is a code editor. So you can download it from the Google. There is no like big deal to download. So you can search it on Chrome and you can search on VS Code download and it will take you to the download page. If you're on Windows or if you're on Mac, like the platform, and download it and you're good to go. So I have opened my Visual Studio Code right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start using the CSS files right now in my Visual Studio Code, and I'm gonna help you learn CSS. So let's do this. So before that, what we can do is let me minimize the Visual Studio Code, and I have minimized it. So what I'm going to do is I'm placing my cursor on my desktop screen. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to click on new. I'm going to click on folder. I'm going to rename this to learning CSS. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this and drop inside the VS Code. So boom, so the file is inside the VS Code. So the folder is here. You can see it is spelling like learning CSS. Okay. So this is the file icon right there. So I'm going to left click on it. So it is asking for a name. So I'm going to type like learning.css. Enter. So now this is the CSS file. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to click on the plus symbol for the next file, and I'm going to name it again learning.html, because CSS doesn't run without a HTML. CSS and HTML are like similar. If you're someone who doesn't know about like HTML and CSS, all those things, so basically if you open a browser, what happens? You can see the website, right? So each and every website has a web page. So without web page, no website might run. So how you're like seeing the letters, words, colors of the letters, fonts, sizes, pictures, videos, that's pretty much the website, right? So how you're like seeing this with the help of HTML and CSS. So HTML is like a skeleton without the dresses, colorful dresses. It will be like black and white, all the words and everything. And CSS actually add colors to the HTML slide. So CSS and HTML are like interlinked. So there is no replacement for these two. You have to learn it. It's actually very simple. So now let's learn CSS. I hope you have already have an idea about HTML. If you do not, watch my previous complete HTML tutorial right from the beginning to the end on my channel, and if I have an idea about that. So I already have completed like halfway about CSS, which is also in my channel. This will be the continuation of the previous one. Okay, let's start learning CSS right now. So let me like try to zoom in. It's not working. Okay, this is VS Code, right? You will not allow to zoom. Right, but there might be some options for that, but I don't know how to zoom. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type a command right now. Okay, this is the continuation video of my previous CSS teaching, guys. This is a part 2. If you want to learn the previous one from the beginning, you can click on another video which will be having the entire thing from the start to the middle. So I'm gonna continue it from there. So we're gonna learn about text transformation right now. Okay, so let's do something. Before that, let me like set up this page. So since it's the VS Code, I don't think you have to actually create the heading and everything to change this into a HTML file, because it automatically does that. But for the understanding of a new person, I'm doing the same. Okay, so doc type HTML, what it does is it will change a file into a HTML file, and the HTML and backslash HTML will tells whatever inside is a HTML command. So we have to create a head, and inside the head I'm going to create a link, and inside the link I'm going to create the relative path. This is a style sheet, and I want to give the link to the CSS, so href, and it is learning, right? Dot CSS. Okay, it gives the suggestion. That's nice. So after the head, I'm gonna tap the body here, and pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the text transformation. So for that, I'm gonna create a paragraph like that. So with the help of P, this is the paragraph. So whatever comes inside the P is paragraph. I'm gonna copy something.
Hey, wait.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Apple Wiki. Okay, so here's the information about Apple on Wikipedia right there. I'm gonna copy it, a very big sentence right there, and I'm gonna go back to my VS Code. So I'm gonna paste this inside the paragraph. So it's a huge paragraph right there. Okay, so even though if you like give multiple enter, it doesn't count as a next line. It will continue to be in the same line. If you want something to be in the next line, you have to give PR. Probably you might have known that because you must have learned HTML before coming to this CSS chapter. You don't, it's never too late. So BR is for the line break, so it doesn't understand we are leaving the space or not. Actually, it doesn't understand if you give like space, but it doesn't understand while if you're giving a enter. So all the things in the next line will not appear in your page as in the next line. It will be like continued. So to do that, I'm going to give BR to the end of each paragraph right there. So only then it understands the line should be taken to the next line. That's how we do it. Great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add an ID to this paragraph. So like say Apple. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to my CSS file right now. So you don't have to mention anything in the CSS file. If you save it as a CSS file, that is more than fine. But in the HTML, you have to mention that it's a HTML document type, and it should come in between like HTML tag elements. So for the CSS, you need not to do anything. The only thing you have to do in the HTML is you have to link it properly to the external CSS file, which should be where you are working. So do it wisely. So right now. Okay. So there are like a few types of text transformations. They are like right. Let me like change into a comment so that it won't get affected. Okay, so like few types in there. The first one might be uppercase transformation, uppercase one, and the second one might be lowercase. Of course, you all know that. And the third one is capitalize. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the apple to a uppercase. So let us see that it's a mix of upper and lower cases. So I'm going to change this entire thing into an uppercase. So before that, what I want to tell you is you go to this search, this extensions. What you can search is you can search for a live server. So LIVESCRVER, live server. And what happens is this live server will pop out. You can see this, right? So this live server, which is in a purple color, red pick day. So you you install it. I have already installed it. So you install it. What happens is if you are like working here and we are clicking on the go live like at the bottom right here of the screen, and it will start the browser. So you can see it has started the browser. So this is how our page looks without any CSS element. There is a blank HTML right there. So it has displayed whatever we have typed inside the body right here. So we can also add a title to the page. I think the link should come out of the head, right? Okay. Inside the head, I'm gonna give title. Title might be learning CSS. So I didn't save it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the page again. You can see that. So nothing is on the page title here. Just the address IP. So I'm going to save this right now. So I'm clicking on Control S. So you can see that now the page title has changed into learning CSS. If you know that, you can also add a beacon by adding like a icon and so on. So we're not going to focus on that because it comes under HTML. We're going to focus only on the CSS learning part right now. So back to my CSS. So we have like used the ID, right? If you use ID, how to call it on CSS? You have to use the hash and the name of the ID, and everything as usual comes inside the parentheses. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type txt text and a little hyphen and transform. Okay, so that is the suggestion, and I'm going to try it to the uppercase first. So I'm going to click on the uppercase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Control S. So if you go to the HTML document, it's a mix of like capitalized and small letter, right? But now everything will be in a capital letter. Everything will be in an uppercase. So let's go to our page. So let's refresh it, like uh, save it. Save it here. Oh, the apple A is in capital, guys. So we have to be careful with the spelling. Okay. Okay, so now we can see that everything has changed into an uppercase, right? So this is like if you want to change some particular words or letters to the capital one, you can actually use that. So you can see that everything is in capital right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change into lowercase, which is another option. On the suggestion right there, I'm going to save this. So if I go, you can see that everything has been changed into lowercase, right? Even if I maximize it, there's no use. It will be on the same font size. And I'm going to increase the font size of the browser, so you can see that everything is in lowercase, right? So now let's see, like how to capitalize. It's actually capitalized, but let's see, there's another option to capitalize. Okay, let's save it, and now it's normal, right? The first letter of every word will be in a capital, so that's how you use the capitalize option for. If you want every word should have a capital letter or a uppercase letter and followed by the lowercase letters, you can use it. So these are the three types, guys. We do another thing. So let me copy it and create two more paragraph. So I'm gonna name this as apple 2 and apple 3. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna add an h1 element, and I'm gonna name it as uppercase. Right, I'm gonna copy it and paste it here, and I'm gonna name it as lowercase, and I'm gonna paste it here and name it as capitalize. Nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. I'm going to the CSS right now. So it's the same procedure. I'm going to copy this and paste it two more times, and apple 2 and it's apple 3. So I'm going to name this as lowercase and this as uppercase, and this is capitalized as it was. So I'm going to save this. So now let's go to the page and minimize this. It's actually working, but how given the title wrong? First one should be the lowercase, right? Great. So we can see that the first one is lowercase. Okay, I'm gonna maximize the font size right there. So the lower cases, you can see everything is in lowercase, so no upper cases. And the signed one, you can see that everything is in uppercase. And in third, you can see that the first letter of every word is uppercase and followed by lowercase. So this is how you do it, guys. Okay, let's move on. So this is how to make your text to transform into upper and lower cases in CSS. So now let's learn about text spacing. Okay, Let me like clear it or create a new one. So probably let me like clear it for you. Okay, so now what we're gonna learn is text spacing. Okay, so there are like a few steps in text spacing right there. So let me like name them. The first one might be like text indent. And the second one might be letter spacing. And the third one might be line height. And the fourth one might be word spacing. And the fifth one might be white space. Okay, so these are the like text spacing available in the VS Code. I mean in the CSS that we are working on VS Code right now. Okay, so let's see like one by one. Okay, first I'm going to use text indent. So I'm going to use my first paragraph, which is Apple with the ID. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type text indent and let me like give like 50 pixels. Okay, and let me like save this, go back to the browser, and let me like minimize it so that you will be having an understanding. So I have given the text indent to 50 pixels. So you can see that it has given like 50 pixels gap while the starting of the word. So here you can see that it has started right away. But what's the use of text indent? To make the paragraph look beautiful. So there's a gap at the start, right? So only for that purpose we are using text indent. So you can see at the here I didn't change anything, so it's started right away from the margin. But here when I type like text indent, it has given like 50 pixels space. Okay, so now let's move on to the next. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do letter spacing right now. So letter spacing is actually the same, like how much space you want between each letters. So I'm going to give like 5 pixels. So I didn't save this file, so you see that. So in the second one, like in the uppercase one, you can see that there's no like any space between any letters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this file with a letter spacing of 5 pixels. So you can see, so each and every letter has a 5 pixel of space right there. So let me like turn it even down to look better, like 2. I'm gonna save this file and I'm going back, and you can see that the space has reduced, but it's still more than the previous one. So this is how to use the letter spacing. So as the name suggests, it's between the letters, the space between the letters. So I'm gonna do for the third paragraph right now. So I'm going to do the line height. So how much height each line should have. So like maybe like 5 pixels height. Okay, I didn't save this file, so let's me move on to the next. So you can see that every line are like really close to each other. So let's see if I save this, what happens. Okay, pretty much the line is really small, so it is, you can see that it is like so close. So I think I have to give even more space, I guess so, like 15 pixels might be fine, I guess. Okay, now I think 15 pixel is the default and normal height. Let me like give even more height, like 30 pixels, something like that. It might be helpful. I mean, it should be closer. Saving it, going back, and you can see there's a lot of spaces between each and every line. So this is the 30 pixels line space. So this is how to use the text indent, letter spacing, and line height. The text indent is the gap between the very first starting of the text from the margin, and letter spacing, as the name suggests, space between the letters. Line height, as the name suggests, the height of the line. Okay, let's move to the next one. So let's see the word spacing right now, and word spacing might be like around 10 pixels. Okay, I'm gonna okay, I didn't like, I don't want to save this. First I showed the default word spacing, so it's not the letter spacing, it's a word spacing. You can see the space between the words before saving the same of 10 pixel word spacing. Let me like save it right now and go back. Okay, you can see there has been a 10 pixel space between the words of every verse in the first Apple ID, which is the first paragraph right here. So this is how to use the word spacing. So now let's see what is white space. Okay, this is the white space, so I didn't save it, and I'm showing you the second para. This is the second para. Let me like save this right now. Let me show back. So this is the white space, and white space is the space between the start of the paragraph and end of the paragraph. Let me like increase even more, like 20 would be fine, I guess. Even 20 doesn't have any much impact. Like give me 50. Okay, so you can see the space has been improved right now. So I can also use some other names like now wrap. So let me like save this. Let's see what happens. You can see there has been a white space between the each and every line. You can see it here. This is the second paragraph. That's what we are seeing right now. You can see that now wrap actually takes out all the white space, so there's not much of a white space here. You can see it. Now what happens if I give a white space some pixels? Okay, let me save this. Okay, you can see it now. There's a white space at the end of each paragraph. So before that we didn't have it, now we have it, right? The white space here. So this is the white space at the end of 3 lines. It will give the space, and the next line, the next word will start in the next line. At the end of each line, after the full stop, the next letter will be starting in the next line. So you can see like the 3 words, so I mean 3 lines are here, and after the third line, first full stop, the next word is started on the next line. Even after the third line, now we can see the next thing has started in the next line. So this is the white space, guys. Okay, now move on. Let's move on. So now let's see the text shadow right now. So probably you know what a text shadow is. It's a shadow of a text. So now let's see about that right now. So first what I will do is I will take this off, and let me add a beautiful color here, and like red, and me add a background like aqua or aquamarine. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a text shadow right here. Okay, so the text shadow. So like if you're like using a text shadow, it should be like based on three things like RGB, or how much it should be used. So I'm gonna use like 2 pixels and another 2 pixels and another 5 pixels, and my shadow should be in like a green. Okay, green yellow. I'm saving this, going to my page. You can see there's a shadow of green yellow at the back. You can see it has a shadow and it has a background color of green right there. Okay, so let me like take out the background color and save this. Now you can see beautifully, right? So the green yellow is a text shadow right there. You can set how much blurry or how much thicker it should be. So now let's change the directions and pixels. Okay, let me like give 2. Let me save this. So you can probably see the letters in the shadow as well, right? So the first thing, I mean the first pixel represents height, second pixel represents the width, and third represent how much smudgy you want it to be. So if I like change into like 2, probably it will be like so close. Okay, as I said, it's like so close. So this is not the RGB, actually it's the height, width, and how much smudgy you want the shadow should be. So you have to mention it in pixels. So let me like change it to another some pink. Okay, now let me save this file, and wow, it's actually like beautifully shown right here. So this is how to add the text shadow right there. It's actually giving some beautiful eye-catchy letters right there. That's actually nice. Okay, so let me move to the next topic. So I think instead of naming the color, you can use the RGB as well, and you can use hex or HSLA, whatever you want. So now let's see some other thing. So now let's move on to the learning CSS fonts right now. So let's start learning CSS fonts as shown on the screen. Yeah, let's learn about the fonts right now. Okay, let me like take it out. Okay, now let's see what are the fonts that we can actually use. There are like plenty of fonts out there. So to use a font, what you have to do is you have to name them. So I wanna type font family. So if you like type font family and you're in a, if you're in a VS Code, so you can see like plenty of fonts are available right there, right? So let us try one by one. So the first one is Courier, and it's a monospace one. Let's save this and let's see our font. So this is the Courier font right there. I would select really eye-catchy. So now let's try the next one. What else we have? Let us see the suggestion. Like Arial, Helvetica, Sans Serif. Okay, let's try this one. And we save this. So this is the font with the name of Arial, Helvetica, and Sans Serif. So these are the fonts. So likewise, there are like n number of fonts from A to Z. You can use any font by typing font family and just type A or B or C. It will show the solutions. There are like endless solutions right there. So this is how to add a font inside a HTML or CSS. So there is also something that you have to know. What is a web save fonts? So web save fonts is nothing but what are these fonts are actually shown on the web. It is used by most of the web browsers like Firefox, Chrome, or Opera, or any other browsers. So you shouldn't see some boxes instead of your words or letters. So you have to use the web save fonts. If some fonts are like shown on VS Code, I think it's web save fonts. Other than that, if you have any other web save fonts, you should be like really careful with that. Okay, let's move on. So let's see about the font style right now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give a font style. Let me like take this off so that you'll be having a correct understanding of something. Like font style, so it might be normal, or it might be italic, it might be oblique. So of course normal, you know that it's the normal font without any change. You can see it's a normal font size right there. And if I change into italic and save this, you can see the font has changed into italic right now. So if I have changed to oblique, now let's see what's going to happen right there. Let's save this, and this is oblique, even is like slightly italic right there. Okay, this is the oblique one. So this is how to change the font style, and you can also choose the font weight. Font weight is nothing but a quick change of font size. So let's see about that. Okay, so let me like take it off for the better understanding. Font weight, so it might be bold, bolder, or lighter, or quick selection of any pixels. It's a quick changing of your font size, nothing more than that. So I'm going to change into bolder, so now it will be in bold. Going to the web page, so you can see everything is in bold right there. And if I choose like normal, it will be like an usual one. It will be like lighter, it will be like lighter than the normal. So you can see this lighter right there. So this is a quick change of your font size. That's called font weight. So now let's move on and let's learn about font variants. So there are like various like different sizes that you can use actually. So let's learn about that. Font variants. So you can see actually it's giving like some suggestions like normal, small caps, inherit, initial, unset. Let's see them all. Normal, you know that it's in a normal size. You have to do anything, so same. And let's see small caps. So this is small caps. So what happens is the first letter will be in a regular capital letter and followed by smaller letter which is caps. So this is the small caps. And what is inherit? Let's save this and let's see. So this is the inherit. Inherit is actually a normal one, that I don't see any difference between that. Okay, inherit actually takes the word which are like places, companies names, or any positions or any country name, and it will change them into capital. Like the word might be like in capital of the starting. So that's a inherit. Like you can see like Cupertino, California is in like capital. So let's see like if I change into normal, is it same? It's still the same. So what does inherit do? That's what I said. So inherit will take the font of the previous one Okay, now let's see the next topic right now. And one more thing, you can also like set the font size to the pixels as well. So like font size like 50 pixels or so on. Let me save this and you can go there. Now it's in like 50 pixels. You can see this is the normal page size. This is like really small, and you can see this is like 50 pixels big. If I change into like 0, you can get the actual picture. Everything, I mean 0 is nothing, right? Let me give 1. Let's save it, and you can save it like it's in the 0 pixels right there. Wow, it's really funny. Give me like 5 pixels. Save this. Even 5 pixels is not the normal one, so 15 is the normal one, I guess. So okay, it's normal right now. So you can also change the font size by using the pixels right there. There are like n number of fonts available on the internet, but make sure it is like supported by most of the browsers or not, because if you actually work on some new fonts, it might look great on your browser but might not be available on all the browsers. So make sure to use the fonts that are like used by most of the browsers, which is called as web safe browsers, web safe fonts as well. So now we have seen the font style, font variant, font weight, font size, font family, and you can actually do instead of typing everything separately, you can just type font, and you can name everything like one by one, like what's the font size, and what should be the style, and whether it should be like the size is bold or something like that. Bold. And what's uh another thing, like font style, font variant, font weight, font size, font family. So you can give all this thing in the same line, and you will get the result. So I'm gonna try it right now. So first, what me do, let me like do it all separately at first, so that you'll be having an understanding of that. So let's see, like font style italic, and font size like large, and font family like Franklin, and font variant as small caps, and font weight as like 200, and I think that's what we have learned, right? Like font style, font variant, font weight, font size, and font family. So now let's see them all right now. Let's save this and let's go to the page. So you can see everything has been implemented right now. So you can see the font style is italic, slanting, and font size is large. It's quite large than the second paragraph. And the font family is Franklin Gothic medium, and the font variant is small caps, you can see that, and the weight is like 200. So this is how to do this, and you can do the everything in same line, I mean in one line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just type font, and I'm going to add italic, and here I give a space and type large, and I'm type like Franklin. Okay, let me like copy this, and what I do is I give a comma, and I type small caps, and I give a comma and type like 200. So let me like save this, and let me see the next paragraph. Oh, it should get affected, but I didn't. I think something should be wrong. Oh, I mean, probably the order is actually wrong. So what happens is you cannot like give much of the same. What I can do is take this out, and I can take this out. So let me like rearrange, like let me like give the font style first, italic, followed by the font variant, small caps, followed by the size, and followed by the pixels, followed by the font family, okay. Let me like save this. Okay, now you can see it has been taken into the account right now. So that's a procedure that you should remember, which should come first and which should go last. If you cannot remember it, it's always you can use it in a separate lines like this. If you can remember the order, like first should be the font style, followed by the font variant, and followed by the font size, followed by the font weight, and last should come the font family. So this is how you can use all the font in a same line. So let's move on. So now let's see about the link. So actually I have taught this about the link in HTML class already, but you can also learn it on the CSS as well. So now let's see how to use a CSS links. Okay, so now what we can do is we can go to the HTML and let's get inside the paragraph. Like after the body, I may like create a new paragraph or anything like a new A. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write Samsung. Okay, so I'm gonna create a link right there. So let me like create an ID and let me name this ID as Samsung. Okay, so I'm going to CSS right now. So I'm going to use like hash Samsung and the parenthesis. So I think the spelling is same, right? Okay, so the first what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the link visited, hover and active commands to do the same. So to do that, what I'm going to do is next to the Samsung I'm going to place a colon and I'm going to write a link. So inside the link I'm going to give the color as red and background color as aquamarine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save, copy this, and I'm gonna do it to the rest as well. Okay, so the second thing what I'm gonna do is the same Samsung name, the ID, since it's an ID, I'm going to hashtag and a colon, and instead of link I'm gonna give visitor. So I'm gonna change the color to pink, background to yellow. Okay, and I'm gonna do this to next one, which is hover, and the same name, since it's an ID with the hashtag, we'll change the color, the green, and background with something like orange, and this is active. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change with blue, and I'm gonna use like some new colors, like here the dark green. Okay, so what happens is if I create a link, the link color will be red, the background will be aquamarine, and if I place my cursor over it but I didn't click, it's called hover, and then the color will change to green and background will change to yellow. At the time of clicking on it, since it's active, the color will change into blue and the background will be turned into green, and after I have visited the same, it will change into pink and yellow. So now let's test this right now. So let me like save this and save this file. I'm going to my web page, and so nothing is happening, and if I'm placing my cursor over it, so you can see it's turning into green and yellow, and at the time of I'm clicking, you can see that it's turning into blue and green, and after visiting it should change to back. So let me like do it in a proper way. Okay, so I'm going to the Samsung, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a href here to make it work properly. Like you should give the complete URL, like www.samsung.com. okay, so since I have already used it, it might already change to what color, might pink, since it will show us visited. So as I said, you can see that it has changed into pink. Okay, let me do it for another one, this different one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new link so that you can have a look of it. So here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type like PlayStation, and it should be like playstation.com, right? So I'm gonna save this, and I'm gonna change this to PlayStation, and what I can do is let me like go back to the same, and I will copy the entire thing. I will copy it, and I will come back and go down and paste it. And what I have to do is I have to change every ID name to PlayStation. So this is the website that we haven't used, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to PlayStation right there, and PlayStation again, and another PlayStation, and another PlayStation. So let's actually save it. So okay, let me like save it here as well. Okay, now it has changed to PlayStation. So now you can see that the color, if I visit, is pink, and background might be yellow. So since I copied, I think it guessed I have visited it. Oh no. Okay, without copying I will do one thing, not this, another one. Okay, let me like do for A, and let me do it for some other websites, like let me go here and let me go to any website like Microsoft or something like that. Okay, so this is the website here. Okay, I'm gonna copy this and I'm going back to my VS Code. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type Microsoft right there, and I'm going inside the A and I'm gonna create an ID as MS. Then I'm going to create the href as the https microsoft.com, and I'm going to save this. I'm going to the CSS right now, so let me like do it in a fresh manner. So what we can do is hash ms, right? ms colon actually the link, and inside the parenthesis the color is actually red, and the background color is actually antique white. Okay, and now what I do is I copy this and paste it, and let's change it to hover, and now let me do it to active, and let me do it to visitor. Okay, let me change the color. Okay, so now what happens is naturally the link will be in the red, and the background will be like antique white. If I hover my cursor but I didn't click, and if I place my cursor over the link, it will be in red, I mean like in blue, the dark blue, and the background will be in orange. And if I click on it, then it will be in pink and the green. And after visiting the same, if I visited, it will turn into blue, I mean like yellow and black background. So let's see that happening. Let me go back to the file. So you can see by default the color is you can see the by default the Microsoft color is in red and the background is antique white. And since the color what we are going to save, if I hover over the same, if I place my cursor but I didn't click, it will change into blue and the background will be orange. So wow, that's what happened. This is called hover. And if I like click on it, it will change into pink and the background will be in a light green. So let's click on it. Okay, you can see it's into pink and light green. And after clicking off it, it is taking me to the website. And if I go back, and you can see the color will be in yellow and black. So now if I try to click on it, it's actually in dark blue. Why? Oh, now it's right. Now it's taking some time. So you can see now it's in blue and black there. So this is how to like change the colors of the link. So the first thing what you have to do is you should add the name and colon link, and color and background border, whatever you want to do it here. And the next, same ID and hover, same ID and active, or same ID and visitor. So this is how to change the links color in CSS. So now let's see about like ordered and unordered lists. It might be like something that we have learned on like HTML as well, but uh, let's see it on the CSS as well for the people who doesn't know about it. Chance to learn about the same. Okay, what I can do is, and let me go back to the top of body. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a list right now. Let me like name the list fruits. Okay, now let's go back. It's a let me like create an unordered list at first. So let me like say it as it's a unordered list. So since it's an unordered list, I'm gonna type UL and fruits. So this should be the heading, and everything, the list should be in LI. So like apple, okay, I'm gonna copy it for the few times. Great, orange, mango, strawberry, blueberry, pineapple, and what else to say, like jackfruit or something like that. Okay, so these are the fruits named right there. So these are like a pretty much, you can say that this is an unordered list, since you can see that it's an unordered list. So let's save it and see this. Go back to the website. Let me like small it. You can see that fruits is a heading of the unordered list, and everything is in a dotted icon, bullet icon, and you can see all the fruit names in an order, but it's an unordered list. You can also change the color of the bulletins. Let's see how to do that. Let's go to the CSS and let's create a name like UL, and let's create two parentheses. I'm like do it like on the top so that you can have a focus. Okay, so okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type the list style, and I'm gonna click it. It's, you can click like a circle, and I'm gonna save this. So you can see it's the default one. That even if you give the circle, it's in a circle shape, and you can also give like square. Let's save it, and let's save it here. Oh my dear lord, what happened? Why it's not working? It should actually work. I don't know why it didn't work. Okay, let me give an ID to the list and do it in that way. Like, let me like give square. Let me like save this. Go back here and let me like give hashtag Square. Okay, let's save this. Okay, still it didn't work. But actually should work. Okay, I forgot to mention the type. Now it will work. Now what's the problem? Is that a spelling mistake? Same, right? Okay, may I like take it out and let it be just the UL. Okay, something should be wrong. Let me like figure it out. Oh my god. Okay, I found what I did wrong. I did a big mistake. I created a UL within a UL. So it should end like this. So everything, all the list should be inside the UL. And let's say it might be like H1. So that's what went wrong, I guess so. Okay, now I guess it will work. Okay, now it's working. You can see it's in square right now. Let's see it's circle. Oh, okay, you can see it's in a white circle. So we can also use image like list style image, and you can choose any image. Let me like choose the one of the template image, and I think it's a circle image, right? If you want to choose your own image, like what you can do is I take this out, and let's create a URL, and within that you can create the like quotation and single quotation, and like use the image in your folder file inside the one. Let me like save this. Okay, I should like add the apple in this folder. Okay, let me like do that right now. I don't know where it is. Oh, here's the apple. Let me like copy this apple, or let me like drag it and go to the VS Code, and let me like drag it here. So now the apple is inside the folder of learning CSS. Now I think since it's inside the file folder, it might work. Okay, let me like open this. Okay, actually it's working, but it's not in a correct format, so it's not accepting the same. I should mention the height and size, I guess so. Okay, let me like do it. It's not accepting the height. I don't know what's wrong. Let me like check it out real quick. Actually, it should accept it even without this height and everything. I don't know why it didn't like accept it. Okay. Didn't actually accept it, right? I don't know what wrong. Might be like my image is not in the correct format, I guess, sir. But it should accept it. Probably you guys try GIF. It might work. So this is how to add, but this is the format how to add as this style image. So the next thing is how to add a position for the same list style position, like inside or outside or unset or calc or anything. Like let me like write out the inside. Okay, so this is inside, right? Try it outside. So it's kind of way outside, so it's fruit, so it's outside. So this is how to change the list style positions. They're like even more available. You can do it and try it by yourself. And a few more things that we can do by using the list style type. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type like none, but I'm going to give a margin and padding to the same. So that'll be like 0 for the understanding. So you can see that it's nothing, right? So there is no dot or anything, no bulletins. So that's how you can order it without any bulletins. So now let's move on and see the ordered list. It's the same. So what you're going to do is like vegetables and let's start an ordered list. So it's O and L, OL, and everything should be inside this, and it should be like LI. So let me copy it like a few more times. Right, and it might be like a potato and carrot and like spinach and cabbage. Next, what could I say? Eggplant and onions and beans. Then what else? I know, like cauliflower Okay, so this is how to add the list of an ordered one. Okay, you can see it's in an ordered list which has the numbers like 1 to 8. So this is how to add an ordered list right there. So let's move on. So let's add some colors to our added lists. So what I'm gonna do is okay, I'm gonna take this off right now, and I'm gonna add some flavor to our unordered and ordered lists right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this out and like ul and like what I'm gonna do is leave a break and li. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type a color which is red, and background might be like the aquamarine, and let's add some margin to the same. So the margin will be like around 5 pixels right there. So and this is unordered lists, and this is a list. So let me like take it out the like unordered list alone, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some colors to it, like background color, something like blanched almond. Okay, and I'm gonna add some padding to the same, which might be around 20 pixels, and to the order list if we like add something, I mean the color might be there, background is something like brown. Let's copy the padding. Let me like save this. Now our unordered list and ordered list have this beautiful colors like this. So it has a background and a color, and I should add a background to the same. Okay, let's save this. So you can see now it has a brown background and a pink uh, color. Okay, this is how to have a beautiful colors to your lists like this. It still looks the same. Oh, it's an ordered list, right? So that's the reason. Okay, so this is how to add the colors to the unordered and ordered list, guys. So let's move right now. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I need a break right now since it's a live one. I'm gonna take a break and I'll be back like after like few hours. So I'm gonna end this stream right now, guys. So thanks for watching this stream and subscribe to this channel. Like if you're watching this video on like Facebook, give a like to my Facebook page and follow my page. And you can also share your thoughts in comment section, and you can also give a like. If you're watching this video on like YouTube, you can subscribe and turn on the notification bell icon. You can also leave your like there, you can also comment there. And if you're watching on Twitch, make sure to follow, subscribe. If you're watching on Kick, make sure to follow, subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well. So let me like note down my profiles real quick. So like on Facebook, the name is like let me like comment it out. Okay, and it's absolute beginners coding. So this is the username right there. And in YouTube, it's same username. They're all lowercase, and it's the same username like this. And in the Twitch, it again has the same name, and on the Kick has the same name as well. And on my Instagram, again it has the same name. And on my Twitter, it's the same, but instead of beginners it's a B, so absolute B coding. So these are the profiles I'm in. These are my only official profiles. So other than this, I don't have any other profiles. So in Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Cake, and Instagram, I have same spelling, same lowercase, same name, absolute beginners coding. And in the Twitter, I have like absolute B coding. So these are the social profiles. Make sure to follow them all. And since it's a live, I just want to have a break. I mean, have a break, little break, and I'll be back after a few hours. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye. Take care.